Excellent. Very reliable, guys. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. you get to see me and Ty's wonderful face, except Ty got a haircut and I got my hair done blonde. So that's what
nice.
Yeah, some changes here. But let's just wait a little bit for people to join. And thank you everyone who is tuning in now. We're just going to get some retweets and some tweets out so that way everyone knows our Trading Tuesdays is happening. Bear with us for a moment. Because Tuesdays, I know everybody looks forward to Tuesdays because Tuesdays are for technical analysis.
Absolutely. We're going to check and see what gains are to be made. And if you've been following thus far, then you will have had made money if you were listening. So we'll see.
Definitely. We should have started this like at like the 3,500 mark.
Should have. We would be very accurate.
Yeah. Fun fact. I taught all of the Ultra Angels how to buy Bitcoin. If you guys don't know, Ultra is like an international music festival. And it was like me and like all these like hot like models, like international performers from all over the world. And that day I was so tired afterwards. Because we like sent them all like their bonuses in Bitcoin. Shout out to Katie, Kansas, if she is watching this. And that day was the day the bear market ended. We pumped 10% after my nap, and it was wonderful.
You did it.
It was just the collective angels. It was the angels. But right. Okay, thank you. We have a couple people on now. Thank you for watching. Hello, Mark. Here we go. You are correct. So Tuesdays are for technical analysis. I am Eryka from the Blockchain Center, and my co-host/host is
Ty, and I am the CCO of FOMO Hunt. We are building an awesome product. Definitely check it out soon. Hopefully we'll be launching this month. We'll see.
And today we are going to cover QTUM. If you guys saw yesterday's Crypto Mondays live stream, we talked about QTUM, which they are up quite a bit this month. So we're going to talk about QTUM. We're going to cover Ethereum. We're going to cover Bitcoin. We're going to cover Link. We're going to cover Swipecoin, SXP, and then Aleph, which I've never heard of before. And then just talk about this interesting liquidity tool called Uniswap that is all the rage. So Ty, if you want to take it away, let's start with QTUM.
Okay, let's pull up my screen. Okay, well, let me know when you can see my screen. And I think you're muted.
We got you.
Okay, so I had some little trend lines on QTUM here, but I don't know, maybe my little thing went away, but it's okay. We can redraw it. So you have a normal chart here. This is on Huobi on the weekly. According to this chart, QTUM was listed in for the Huobi pair for Tether back in like 2017 in December. Very unfortunate for anybody who was investing at this time because this is pretty much the top. So that was, really unfortunate. But, is there any redemption for QTUM? Let's find out. So if we take the top here and we draw a nice little trend line that gives us something resembling, I don't know, the tops of these peaks here, and we try to, make it somewhat nice. We'll see if it'll work with us. And you get something similar to this. And actually my other chart looked better, but this chart will work. So what you can see here is a breakdown, and it might actually fit better from here. And I think it does. Yeah, it does. From this point rather instead of this. And I think there's a disparity between the charts because of the different times that there's listings. But I digress. So these peaks show us a top trend here, or a trend that's following this trend line here to the bearish side, obviously, because we're trending downwards. It's bearish momentum, and so ideally, what you want to do is you want to break this downward trend. And how do you know if you're breaking that trend? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is draw your trend line, and then from there, you can see like anytime there's a break. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard to understand. And so that's exactly what we have here, where this is like Black Thursday. This is like when Bitcoin dumped. And so when this happened, it pretty much followed Bitcoin in its steps in value or correlation, and eventually broke through this downtrend, showing that there's a lot of support at this level. This is the first time that it's touched this level, at least on the weekly. So it's not exactly like great support, but it'll do. So now, what do we have left in terms of on the Fibonacci levels? Where are we at? Well, the good news is it broke through the 786. So that's usually, and this is what we've been talking about for a while now, that this is like one of the prime positions to set your orders, because from the 786 to the 618 is usually the best time to buy, because it signals a return or like a recovery from the peak, of course, which is according to this was $77. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay, so from $77.
Jeez, Quantum. Holy.
I know. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I don't even know anything about the project, so maybe you can tell me.
No, they're really interesting because they are built on Ethereum, but they're using UTXOs to be able to just like account for everything. So, yeah.
So like Bitcoin's system, but on Ethereum. Yes,
but they also have so they're a pure proof of stake system, but they have the ability, like, how EOS has 21 block reducers. With Quantum, you can be a super staker, which means that you can keep your coins offline, but then appoint your coins to someone else who wants to stake their coins. And then, your coins are still staked, but they get a fee. The person who's the super staker gets a fee out of it. So it's like delegated, proof of stake, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. And
they have 40 developers. They're like in multiple different countries. So
yeah, that sounds really good. So from where we're at right now, there's a little bit of resistance, it looks like, at 330. But according to the Fibonacci level, the real resistance is at like $4 or about 421. So from where we're at right now to where it could be at the top, or where it was in the bull market to be, the end of the bull market, would be 2,669% from where we're at right now. So,
and guess what? Quantum is also up 8% today in terms of the US dollar, and it's up 8.6% in terms of Bitcoin. So it's beating Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, and then from the bottom, it's up 317%. So that's pretty good. I would definitely take a flyer on it at a couple of dollars compared to what it was at. I will definitely have to see, is there a change in token supply? Is there a change in have they met all their roadmap goals? All those types of things. That's what I would look at if when I'm investing. So just for anybody else that wants to know, what that process looks like, the token supply is pretty important, because if here the token supply was 500 million or 100 million tokens, something crazy small, and then here it's like a billion, big difference. It's obviously going to make an impact on the price. So
no, their max supply is 107 million, and right now they have circulating 96 million. So a lot of it's already out there.
Well, that explains the high price then, because when you have such a low token supply, that's usually what attributes to that price. So pretty sweet. I'll have to check into it more.
Yeah, for sure. I like Quantum. They do have a fork coming very soon at the end of the month. So yesterday with Quantum, we did a talk with their head of growth. Today we are covering their charts, and then tomorrow, if you want to become a super staker and figure out how to earn Quantum, to run a node with them is $9 a month, which is that's cost effective. So if you want to figure out how to do that on your own, tomorrow on Dev Wednesdays, we are covering that. So thank you, QTUM. And I hope that you guys continue to climb the ranks in terms of, they're number 44 right now. Yesterday they were number 48. So
nice. They don't get enough attention, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. They need more attention. Let's give them more attention. All right, next one, Ethereum. Let's go.
Okay, so Ethereum's looking hot. So that's good. Ethereum is, I mean, it's actually looking really good because there are some key points that I'm going to make here. That's going to get everybody bullish on Ethereum. When I've been talking about Ethereum for a while, on this show, and we've talked about it and why it's so valuable. And just keep in mind, like all these ERC20 tokens in the DeFi sector that are being built on Ethereum. At some time or at some point, that value has to catch up with Ethereum. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty big. Now where is it on the TA scale? So Ethereum actually just it pretty much just like burst through 2 Fibonacci levels within, looks like 3 weeks, which is great. And I'll zoom in here. Let's see. So it was stuck here underneath the 618 for a while, and it was stuck here. Obviously, this is huge resistance. Got hit here, stayed below the 618. So it was really tough for it to, move above that level for a while. But obviously, like I said, in 3 weeks, it just covered all that ground, and it's now sitting above the 50%. That's important because if you look here, back on June 17 or 2017 and August 2017 and even November 2017, this was the big crucial point for Ethereum. Once it broke $360 US, it went from 360 all the way. Oop, not my caps lock. I want my shift. It went all the way from 360 to what is like 1400. Let's see. This says it's on Kraken. This says 12. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1592 is the top. So that's a 345% gain from 360. So that's pretty good returns. And if it's one of your safer investments, I say safer in crypto. I think crypto is relatively safe, to be honest. But traditional markets might say not. But in this, it is one of the safer investments if you're putting a lot more money into the industry. And for a safe investment to get 345%, that's a pretty good, risk reward in my opinion. And yeah, it just seems to be like plugging through these Fibonacci levels like nothing. However, I would like to see a retrace or at least, a weekly cool down of the RSI at 50%. So stay around 355 for a minute. Right now it's, just hovering above 355 at 391. So I would like to see this RSI come back down to the purple zone, giving me more clearance of a retrace, like a cooling down of some sorts. Same thing with the daily. The daily is obviously pretty overbought here. So I'd like it to come back down to 355, stay there for a minute, go sideways. And then after that, throw some more money at Ethereum. So
Ty, let us know, when do we continue to fill our bags? Like, what's the price point?
I mean, Ethereum
say is currently at $393. Dang, I remember when Ethereum couldn't break 200.
Well, so I think we also have to look at Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum can sometimes like do things on its own. I think it actually led right here when it broke the Fibonacci level at 249, 250. So it does do its own thing sometimes. So it does operate independently of Bitcoin at times. But, we have to see like who's going to be the first mover. Because if Bitcoin's the first mover and it obviously dumps, well, then Ethereum's going to go with it. I don't think Bitcoin would dump, even in like a slight amount. And we'll get to Bitcoin obviously in a second here, and I'll show you why I don't think it's going to dump. But if it does, then obviously we need to just wait on a correction, or when it does do that, that's when I would take a buy or a bid. But I would still set bids at like 358, 355, maybe 350, and maybe even lower than that, maybe a 313, because I don't think that this is going to be, it's going to do a huge retrace. I think it's going to stay in this area. And then from here, it's going to take the next steps to keep going up. because I think we're done with the bear market. I don't see us returning back down from where we're at now, especially because there's a lot of capital being raised. Just 2 companies this week, or two fundraisers with the Huobi Capital and I think another company called like Electric Capital, like $110 million each or something like that. So there's a lot of money coming in. You have institutions coming in. It's not the bear market anymore. So from here up, we have to just take these steps with flags and pennants and all this stuff until we keep, taking the steps up to the top. And then of course, eventually break the all-time high. Very
cool. Yeah, no, Ethereum is one of those things that we have to think about when it's like who's supporting all of these DeFi protocols that are, we're going to talk about Uniswap after this too. Mm-hmm. However, the underlying support of all of these DeFi tokens is Ethereum. So it's going to have to catch up to it. But of course, Mother Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up. Actually, Bitcoin's down today a little bit, like less than 1%. We're at $11,227. I like
Correct.
Those two.
Yes. So it is okay. So if you're watching or paying attention to your charts on, what was it, like 2 days ago? Was it 2 days ago? I was on the 2nd of August. Yeah, so 2 days ago, where we had this giant crash from like the top here was like 12,120 all the way down to 10,581. That was not ideal in any circumstance, but in the grand scheme of things, it does not matter, because if you zoom out, and which I would always tell you to do, don't get too close. Don't be looking at the hourly going, oh, I'm so bearish on Bitcoin, I don't know what's going to happen. Zoom out. That's all it takes, because then you get to see the macro trend. The macro trend is the most important trend there is. So what do we see happening for Bitcoin? Well, just like we saw with Ethereum breaking, I think it was the 786 on its chart, after consolidating for a long time, Bitcoin did the same thing, except it did it with the 382. And that was huge, because the $10,000 or $9,800 level seems to be a major resistance here, obviously here, obviously here. But then the next major resistance is going to be 12,900. And after this, I mean, it's game over, because after this, it's, this area here doesn't have a whole lot of price history, right? Because this is a very thin area. There's no, like right here is probably your best price history that you have, because you have like all of this inside this range at like 6,100 to like 7,800. So this is good price history. We can see like proper supports and resistances, but you can't see that here. Only thing you can see is a top, right? After that's new price discovery. And the thing you see here is, this big resistance here, in July 2019, and this one, actually, it's not even resistance. This was more support at the time, but it was weak support. And this could be weak resistance. We don't know, because it's only been tested really one time. But however, that was the big point, the turning point back in 2019, where of course it led to our demise in March of 2020. So with that being said, 12,900 is going to be a major, major resistance. And if we break it, then it changes everything.
Changes everything.
Everything. And I'm going to show you.
In my bank account, baby.
Exactly. So I'm going to show you what's happening on the smaller trends now. So this is the 4-hour. So this might seem like a big deal. The big candle drop from the top here at 12,000. I don't think it is. I think it's more like a freak thing. It's possible that, let's say that we do come back down, even for a moment. It's possible that this trend does break and it comes back down to above like $9,800. But again, the big thing is you're still above the 382 here at $9,800. So
we have a question. What level did you just say?
The 382.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 382 Fibonacci level at 9,800 is super important, because that's the level we just broke, that we consolidated under for like a hot minute, literally from May 4th till July 20th. That was like 77 days. So we consolidated in that area underneath the 382 for a long time, until finally we broke it, which is the big reason why, Bitcoin pumped, because that level was very important to break. And then coming in closer, again, if you see this and you say, okay, well, if Bitcoin comes down to 9,800 even, I mean, we're still 11,200, but let's say it does come down to 9,800. It's not a big deal because we can still generate support on top of this. And again, you have a macro shift of the market, and it doesn't really matter, even if you had a giant candle, a weekly candle that just dropped all the way down $9,800, I don't see it going past that level just because we consolidated for so long in this area. And I think that the market is shifting. And so I would say that anywhere, setting bids anywhere between here and $9,800 is a good idea. That's what you would call dollar cost averaging. But let's just say that the alternative option happens, and this is actually forming, maybe it's a really ugly pattern, to be honest, because of this stupid drop. But let's just say that I don't know. Let's say that it would normally form some type of wedge or channel. Again, this is super ugly just because of this drop. But let's just say it consolidates in this range, or this is even like a bear flag or a bull flag. If it is a bull flag and it's just forming this and consolidating, then of course we'll take another level up and possibly beat 12,000. But the big range again, the big important resistance that we got to beat is 12,900. Beat that and it's game over. It's it's a whole different scenario.
Very cool. Well, everyone knows that if you buy Bitcoin below 12,900 and right now, you're still getting a really good deal.
Mm-hmm.
A really good deal.
Exactly.
Cool. Love it. Bitcoin is the best. All right. So let's move on. Link. Everybody's favorite right now. Link. What do they call them? The Link Marines?
Link Marines. All right. So Link is a little interesting right now. Actually, it's a lot of interesting.
Link is at 9.8. Didn't we say that would be Stinky Linky, apparently, is also the name.
Stinky. Nice.
Didn't we say that at 10, last week we said 10 is the new barrier that needs to break?
Oh, I mean, at this point, it's like, I guess you could call it 10 because to my knowledge, there's no previous price history of Link being this high. So it's all new price discovery. So anything's possible at this point. I think I said that last week. I'm not sure. But this is interesting the way it's setting up here. You have a giant wedge. Now, usually this is not what you'd like to see. But the difference here is it's possible. I mean, if you bounce off the top of this wedge here and come down here, there's a good chance you break down. But it just doesn't seem like Link wants to stop. It seems like Link is just going to keep going, which is ridiculous. But, have at it because, it's a new price discovery. It's forming this giant wedge. I mean, if it breaks above this wedge, that's like the most bullish thing I've ever seen because, again, this wedge is ridiculous. I mean, if you're a Link fanatic and, you've been holding from like the bottom down here, I mean, you're up like a good 530% right now. But again, I think it could keep going because it doesn't seem like it's going to stop. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of resistance, and there isn't any because it's in this new price discovery. I mean, pretty much anywhere above $5 for at least this chart is new price discovery. So it's just going to keep going.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about Link many times on this channel before, but you really do need people. I mean, in order for any of this blockchain stuff to work, garbage in, garbage out, you need a way to not have garbage come in. And Link and Zap are two of those ways. So Link is up 9% today. And compared to Bitcoin, it's up 10%. So it's beating Bitcoin. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think these Oracle coins or projects or companies or whatever, I think they're going to start getting a lot more interest. So we might see, like Zap might start to do it's already doing really well.
Yeah.
But for instance, like these Oracle type projects and companies are probably going to get a lot more attention because of, companies like Link. So keep that in mind.
Definitely. It's important and it's necessary. So that's probably why you have Link Marines popping up everywhere. Okay, cool. Anything else on Link, Ty?
Well, RSI on the weekly is super overbought, so it really needs to come down. But again, Link just does what it wants. So sometimes, these companies just say, screw your TA and do their own thing. So same thing with the daily. It's overbought, but it doesn't care. So screw my TA.
Link is the honey badger.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, long-term buy, I definitely hold some Link. So what can I say? But
good.
I also hold a lot of Zap. So you got to look out for those low cap coins with, yeah, Zap's the best. Oh, look, we have some Zap fans in the chat room.
Good.
All right, cool. So next we have SXP or Swipe.
Okay, so Swipe is interesting because I believe they were acquired by Binance in 2019, or actually it might have been recently. Eryka, can you check on that for me? Like check when Binance bought Swipe. And then that might give us more context of what's happening. But the big resistance here for SXP, and I'm totally ignoring the listing here because a lot of times the listings are stupid and it doesn't make any sense. So like the top here, for example, is like 833, dumps all the way down to like 85 cents. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. What I want to see is the price history resistance, and it gives us a pretty good correlation.
On July 7th, they bought it.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's on July 7th, 2020 is when this article came out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's right before this pump here. So that's interesting.
Can you show us July 7th really fast?
So July 7th is right here where my marker is.
Okay.
And this is the pump.
Wonderful.
So, right. So
put me on Binance.
Yeah, exactly. And so we talked about like Binance and how if you are in the Binance ecosystem, you're just going to pump just because. That's just how it works. So the big thing though, this is, okay, so all of this before July 7th here, let's go up here. All of this price history is pre-Binance. Okay, 286 days of price history, but that is pre-Binance. All this is post-Binance. So what that means is this resistance level does not matter anymore because Binance is going to add market cap just from being connected to the name, to Swipe. So this price level of 215, it held off Swipe for now. But what I think is going to happen here is this is consolidating just under 216, 215, just like we saw with Ethereum and Bitcoin. And the next move is going to break this 217 resistance. Now, when it does that, technically it's a new price discovery because, again, I don't count this. This is a weird listing thing. It doesn't even matter, to be honest. So at that point, you're in new price discovery with a Binance company that was just acquired. And it's going to be like fueling all the debit card services for Binance, probably. Pretty good buy,
So let me just go on Binance right now. So it's also down today 7.31%, and compared to Bitcoin, it's down 6.7%, meaning that I love to buy sales, and it's a sale day. So today's a good day to buy some Swipe. SXP, you guys.
Yep, everybody's talking about it. And it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't really matter that everybody's talking about it because, again, we totally different scenario with like a random project coin company out here that has no connections to a large organization like Binance. And then, of course, there's Binance. It's totally different scenarios, and it doesn't really matter, if there's a lot of people in it right now or getting in, because again, you have two different scenarios here that are going to change the entire situation or price history with Swipe. Doesn't really matter about all this back here. All this is kind of just like whoosh, wipe it away.
Yeah, but it's like now Swipe has found its use case. So all the people who know, and you're going to be like, man, I remember when Ty and Eryka told me about Swipe like a month ago. We started talking about Swipe. I feel like
Yeah, I'm gonna need everybody to remember this and just retweet the show every single time you see it. If you just so happen to invest in some SXP and it pumps past 216, P.S. It's gonna do that. So just saying.
Just saying. All right, cool. By the way, guys, Binance is the fastest company in the entire world to become a unicorn. Within 6 months, Binance was worth like to be a unicorn. Your company is valued at $1 billion. And it took Binance six or 7 months to be valued at almost $2 billion. So what does that say? CZ, hats off to you, man. Keep evading all the governments in the world.
Yes, and just to finish this off, so the big thing for Swipe was that we were really overbought at this area, which is really scary. In fact, not good for one of my friends. Yeah, not a good time because it was a big dump when Bitcoin dumped. And all the alts dumped, and I think it was like a 50% loss or something, or maybe 30, 40. Not good. It did recover, obviously. But the big thing that we needed to happen was for this RSI to cool off on the daily, which it just did, and is now consolidating in this area. Perfect, because that's exactly the kind of recovery we needed to make the next leg up above 215, which is going to happen. So everybody needs to pay attention. It's not financial advice, but you know.
Yeah, none of this is financial advice. It is just our opinion. We should probably like roll some clip that says that in the beginning, Ty.
Exactly.
Right. Very cool. Very, very cool. $1.79 for some Swipe, guys. Pick up some. Oh, $1.80. You already missed out on the gains.
Yep.
People are buying because we're talking about it.
Probably, yeah. Go and load your whale bags, people.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, next and last but not least, Aleph. I've never heard of these people, Ty. What do they do? Who are they?
Okay, so I have to go to this chart just to be able to look at this. By the way, this is a secret that I got from my friend who gave me this little tidbit of information, and it's called charts.cointrader.pro. And what this does is it uses the TradingView API to allow you to use TradingView, but also view coins that are not yet listed on TradingView itself. So for instance, if I try to look for Aleph on TradingView, nothing comes up because it's not listed on KuCoin. It's not listed on any of the major exchanges that they actually check price data for. So we have to go to this little guy. So remember this, if you want to see stuff that, you know, coins that are not on your regular TradingView, charts.cointrader.pro. It's a little secret. You're welcome. Okay, so now what we want to see, and this is obviously not what my normal charts look like. It's not as beautiful as the other ones are, but we will deal with it. So Aleph is essentially, it's a lot of things, but I will tell you what it did recently was Aleph.im partnered with the FTX exchange and Solana to produce what is called Project Serum. And Project Serum is going to be a fully decentralized derivatives exchange, which is like the first of its kind, fully decentralized derivatives exchange. It's a really hard thing to say twice fast. So it's a huge deal because it's the first of its kind. Aleph is involved. In what ways, I'm not exactly sure. Aleph does have some like working text encryption tool that you can use on their site. There's not a whole lot of information about the team, but I guess it doesn't really matter because they're working with FTX, so that seems pretty legit to me. I actually did a review on my YouTube about them. It's there's some connections to like decentralized cloud storage. There's some connections to like kind of communicating with IoT. Interoperability with different chains. So it's got a lot of different things going on. It's pretty like, to my knowledge, it's pretty basic. It's using Python for their code, but it just works. And I guess that might be the reason why FTX decided to pick it up with Solana. I'm not sure, but either way, it's pumping. That's all you need to know. So where it's at right now is at 36 cents. It had to come down, and actually, I think I'm still holding it, so this is kind of one of my bags. But you know, unfortunately, it didn't sell at the top.
On here.
Unfortunately, I didn't sell at the top, but it's okay because it's going back up. But we found support here, here, and here, right at about 27 cents. So that's our major support line. It is established now. In fact, it also served as a resistance here in the past. And so that's good. And so there's two things that are going on here. One, we just eclipsed the 618 Fibonacci level. I think these Fibonacci levels are backwards, but it's okay. We just eclipsed the Fibonacci level, which would be equivalent to like the 382 or the 618, it looks like, or the 50, either way, which is a good sign because this is going to serve as a major resistance, just like it did here, 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 until finally it broke above this level and, you know, obviously went for 53 cents, but just came back down. So where we broke above that level, that's good. The next resistance, though, the big one, is at 39 cents or 38, around there. So it looks like it's going to keep going. RSI is cool on the 4-hour. Daily, we'll just take a look at the daily to see what it looks like. It's kind of short. Yeah, daily looks fine. Actually looks really strong on the daily. That's a really strong candle when you see something like that, especially with a candle like this. So that's pretty good price history or TA there. And most of these smaller cap coins work off of TA, unless you're like a big one that just doesn't care. Like, you know, sometimes Bitcoin just does whatever it wants. So after we establish a support above the 38, 39 cents level, that would be a good point to probably see, you know, like place some bids. If it does get rejected again and it forms some kind of range here, then it's not really that good of an opportunity, or as good as an opportunity as it could be. But if it does generate support above the 38 cents level, I'd say that if it makes another run for 53 cents, especially with FTX partnering with them, and of course with them partnering with Solana. Oh, by the way, they just cut their token supply from 1 billion to 500 million tokens. That was on July 31st. Mm-hmm. Which was obviously just recently, which could have attributed to the big dump, the big sell-off. People were trying to get out, but it doesn't really matter because, again, you know, long-term, it's going to be working with FTX. So long-term, I'm bullish, and that's all that matters. So get some while you can.
Got it. SXP, Aleph, and Zap. Got it.
Yes.
Start working with Zap.
Easy money, right?
So Enrico Palazzo is asking, I'm a noob. The charts look nice. Where did you get them from? TradingView.
Well, so
that one was the charts.cointrader.pro.
Yeah, so this is the one where you can get all the charts for all the coins that are not listed on TradingView. So if you can't find it on TradingView and it's like a coin, obviously, then you can go to charts.cointrader.pro. But if you just want to use regular TradingView, and it obviously supports like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these things here, like, you know, SXP, Link, and so on, then you can just use regular TradingView. So for my charts, though, I have a specific thing that I like. I like minimalistic stuff. So I just designed this myself. It's really simple. I just changed the candle colors to white, the wicks to black, so I can see them, obviously. And it just looks nice. You know, it's very minimalistic. It's very easy to see. And so you can obviously see all the other indicators as well. So
yeah, no, definitely super clean.
All right.
So last but not least, Uniswap. Well, I guess first, yeah, let's just talk about Uniswap. Yeah. Uniswap is like this hot thing, which is basically it helps you get liquidity into ERC20 tokens from Ethereum. So
Uniswap is interesting because it is adding a new factor that can do a lot of different things. Some could be illegal. Some could be perfectly legal. And so what I mean by illegal is so the process of using Uniswap is so easy. Let's say, for example, I was to want to create a token, just a random NFT on the the Ethereum blockchain, an ERC20 token. Very easy to do. And I wanted to launder money in some form or fashion. So I just created that token. I listed it. You can do that very easily. Uniswap allows you to do that. And, from there, I said, okay, I want all of my friends to buy this token, or just distribute it, have some whales distribute it, whatever. From there, you could easily launder money and obfuscate it and do all these things, and nobody would ever know any difference. It's a giant liquidity pool where you can interact with it, and so that's obviously one thing you can do bad with it. Now, where is it good and how is it good? Well, the good thing about it is you don't have to go through a bunch of hoops to list your token on Uniswap. In fact, you don't have to list it at all, because what it does is it simply allows you to create liquidity pools with any token that is an ERC20 token, or I think ERC721 also applies. And all you have to do is add the contract address of that ERC20 token. So you can just take, like, for example, Aleph's not listed on Uniswap, and so I can take Aleph's contract address, add it into the search bar, and it'll add that token itself, even if they don't have it listed. So it's like no problem. Even if I have some strange coin out here that is super random, I can just add the contract address, no problem. It's there, and I can obviously, if there's a liquidity pool available, I can engage with it, and then I can buy it or sell it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everything's on chain. So right now you're seeing people using Uniswap to get in and out of these DeFi tokens very quickly without having to go through all of the different loops. As long as you have like your Brave browser and your MetaMask, it's still liquidity. So that's very interesting. I see it like a Shapeshift or like a Changelly, but for Ethereum tokens within Ethereum only.
Yeah, and I think it is going to encourage ideas like this. I think I actually saw there was an app that just added Uniswap. They just use the Uniswap API, and I think they just plugged it right into their app. So you could literally just take your tokens, swap it inside the app, which is actually very interesting because it might be abiding, or not abiding, but bypassing regulations in this form or fashion, because it's like a little bit different. It's not like you're not brokering a trade necessarily. It's off chain, or it is on chain, but it's there is no third party to get involved. It's like you saying, okay, I want to swap my Ethereum with your ERC20 token that you're holding. So it's not necessarily brokering, but it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a decentralized exchange in a sense too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just an easier UX and easier to follow if you know how to use a wallet and everything. So
hopefully you guys know how to use wallets at this point. If not, let us know in the comment section below, and you can sign up for some individual consulting time with the Blockchain Center where we will teach you how to use wallets. Pretty funny, actually. Today, someone came to the center and they asked me, and it was just like I was helping him set up his ledger. And then he was like, it was so mean, actually. Not mean, he was trying to be mean. But I was just telling him all my tips and secrets to, like, okay, here are your private keys. Keep them safe. Here's a way that if someone gets your private keys, they won't necessarily know them even if they have them, like switch 2 words and you know which words you switched, but nobody else knows, just in case someone gets them. Just like little tips. And he tells me, he's like, no wonder you're single. I'm like,
oh my, damn, dude.
What does that mean? I was like, first of all, how do you know I'm single? And second of all, like, what? Like, just because I like think out of the box? I don't know. Whatever.
That is interesting. How did he know you were single?
Rumors.
Intuition. Rumor. Well, let's ask them if they want to do any other. I don't know if anybody wants to see any other tokens.
We got 15 minutes left on this Tuesday trading for Tuesdays. Yeah.
So if you guys have anything you want to see that I haven't looked at yet, let me look through some of the comments. I see a bunch of Facebook spam.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Can we figure something out about that, guys? Like, how do we get rid of these Facebook spammers?
Just offer them, tell them you'll send them 1 Bitcoin, or no, double Bitcoin if they send 1 Bitcoin.
We have Ampleforth.
Okay, we'll look at Ample.
Ample is down. We looked at Ample a couple weeks ago.
We did, and let's see how it did. Actually, I'm curious.
I know.
Okay.
I think it's down today. Gold 2K, yeah.
Yeah, this is we'll just take a look.
If you're single, there's nobody else to take your coins. Pro tip.
That's true. That's true. All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
Let me. All right, cool. We got it.
Okay. To my knowledge, Ampleforth is supposed to follow a algorithm to keep it at $1. But according to this, it is currently at 79 cents, which is not $1. So I want to just kind of take a look here. I think we were looking at this last week. It was supposed to stay in this range, and I think somebody I remember was telling people to buy because it was going to bounce from here and just stay in this range. Big oof. Because if you did buy it right here, you would currently be down 51%. No bueno. But is there hope for it yet? Let's find out. What are the supports for Ampleforth? This is totally whack. I don't use that. I would say this is probably a better determining factor here. Let's just take a look at this and see where we get. Well, I can't really use this trend either because there's only 2 supports here, so I can't tell if that's actually legit. Well, according to this, 55 cents seems to be a pretty decent support, at least twice. We'll see if it tests a third. Before that, it's kind of, I guess you could say this might be support, so we'll just use this. That could be, but the only problem here is if this is support, you wouldn't see something like this. Unless it's bouncing off the top of this resistance here. I mean, you could just drag this down a little bit more and then perfect. You know, it forms a pretty decent resistance, which is not good because if it might just stay now in between the 63 cent and it looks like 137 range. I don't know how this thing's supposed to work. Apparently it's supposed to rebase and then get back to $1, but it doesn't look like it's doing that right now. But this is not good, especially on the daily. Especially
if their algorithm says it's supposed to keep them at $1.
Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. But this is definitely not good. Like I hate seeing candles like this because it just looks like I mean, look at these bullish candles too. And this is not normal types of patterns. It's not supposed to do this. Like all these candles here in between this area are all just like giant bullish candles, giant bearish candles, giant bullish candle again. I mean, it's not normal trading. This should be like a gradual movement or something. And then, of course, you have this giant sell-off here. So somebody at 293 has gotten really burned for 78% or at least 72%.
Unless it's the same person trading. Who knows? Crypto.
No, who knows?
Who freaking knows? All right, we have a request for Zap. Not surprised. Not surprised.
Not surprised? Okay, let's see Zap. Actually, let's go here and see if this gives us better price history.
Okay, that's a very cool website.
Yes, it was a little discovery that my friend made, and now I'm stealing it from him. So Zap, dollar, coin market cap. Let's see if this works. Actually, it does. And this actually looks pretty decent because I can already see a little pattern forming here. Let's take a look at the daily. Yes, this looks great. Okay, so what's happening here? So let's see. So let's look at this.
That's today.
This is in the daily. So this is like over the last weeks.
Okay.
Weeks. So it looks like it's forming a flag if you kind of look at it like this, and that is usually your signal for the next leg up. Let's take a look at the Fibonacci levels and see where we're at. Oh, yes. Can you give me the Fibonacci? Okay. It's like so far back here. Skirt all the way to the top and to the bottom. Yeah, this is not going to give me my Fibonacci levels that I have on my other one. Darn. Let's try the opposite way, actually, because that might work. Yeah, not really. Okay, so Fibonacci levels are not set up on this, which, by the way, you do need to set them up. If you need like the levels that work the best, then just use mine. Otherwise, they look weird. So can't really see. Okay, let's see. Zap.
Zap is another token that is very similar to Chainlink, to where they are oracles, but they have bonding curves, which to me adds a whole new level of technology that is ahead of its time. Not a zap shill, but kind of.
Yeah, the only thing with the regular trading view is the volume on HitBTC is so low, but we'll see if we can use it. Actually, it looks like, according to my Fibonacci level here, it's just above the 50%, which is great because it broke it and it looks like it's consolidating above it. So if it holds above the 50% here, which it probably will, according to the RSI, it will. And let's see the weekly. Weekly looks great as well. So then it'll probably consolidate above the 50 here. And the next leg up looks like it would be the 5 cent level from here where it's at is about 100%. It's great. So then from there, another leg up would be about, 136%. So, I mean, now is a pretty good time. As long as it closes, let's see, on the weekly, as long as it closes above 2 cents on the weekly, I'd feel pretty comfortable. I would just be careful because these weekly candles are not solid. They're not exactly exhibiting support-like features in a candle. So you might want to just be careful that it doesn't, come back down below the 50 down to the 618. Because that would be a 50% loss, which is no bueno. So yeah, just make sure it consolidates above this level. See a good, nice weekly close above the 50%, the 2 cent level. And then at that point, I would probably throw some money at it if it's got long-term fundamentals, which it seems it does.
Very cool. So Zap, as long as it ends above 2 cents, we're looking at 5 cents to all the Zap trolls in the chat. So check it out. All right. I think that is it, Ty. Divi is making a wrapped Divi with Zap. Oh, Divi's a cool project too.
Divi is making a wrapped Divi with Zap?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Someone's asking you, do you trade in the traditional markets? He likes hard assets.
Yeah. my problem, I probably could. Actually, I know I could trade in the traditional markets and it would probably be easier. But I'm just so
it would be easier?
It would be because it follows better. It follows patterns better because cryptocurrency is so volatile. Mm-hmm. So I could trade right in the traditional markets. I don't want to though. It's like against my morals. Like
Bitcoin or.
I just can't. I don't know. I just don't like stocks because I just know they're manipulated. I mean, Bitcoin probably is too in some form or fashion, but at least I can support the underlying software. Traditional stocks, I'm just supporting the traditional system, which I hate. So.
Yeah, the ethos is very important. I think that a lot of people in the space could be doing other things. However, we just love the world of cryptocurrencies because the ethos is absolutely there.
Agreed.
Yeah, young people, get on it. Stop going to Robinhood. Use Uniswap instead.
Exactly. Just learn how to use a wallet and buy Ethereum and transfer your Ethereum for a random ERC20 token. Look, that's way better than just clicking buy on Robinhood, I promise.
Because what Robinhood does is they sell. I mean, when something is provided for free, okay, Robinhood is free. When something is provided for free, you are the product, okay? Robinhood sells all of the whatever it is, they front run their customers. And why not? They got to make their money somehow. It's obviously not off you as the person who's buying it, so they're going to front run you and make money that way. So,
somebody asked, when do you guys think Bitcoin will cool off so alts can catch up? I will tell you.
Tell us. Hold on, I got to fix my screen. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay. So right now, according to the 4-hour, I mean, there's no real time frame. I don't think it's in a range right now, which is it's just going to be like sideways, which it needs to cool off. At least on even the daily looks fine. I would just say maybe a couple more days until we see some movement. I mean, there's nothing big coming up, necessarily, except for Ethereum 2.0, which is supposedly launching launching this year. So if that does happen, I mean, not only does Ethereum explode, but the entire DeFi market explodes, and then Bitcoin's obviously going to, it's going to take a little bit of that with it. But before that, I think it just needs to consolidate for a couple of days. We'll see what happens, but anywhere in this range, as long as.
Wait, Ty, we don't see your screen.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to show my screen.
Okay.
I was just talking about it. Just give it a couple days. Let it cool down. See what happens. But again, anywhere between this and 9,800, you're Gucci. I would just dollar cost average, even if it does go down. So.
Yeah. DCA, guys, long-term fundamentals are still into play. Also, I think that we will do a little tutorial for Jax and how to use Zap with Jax. If you guys are interested in the 14 people who are watching this currently right now, I feel like you probably already know how to use wallets and stuff. But if you go to blockchaincenter.com, you can book individual asset strategy meetings with myself or other people on the Blockchain Center team to make sure that you are sending your coins safely and securely. Also, hold on, let's see. We have another question, BitNative. Ty, because of your description of Uniswap as something that could be used for illegal activity, I mean, one could say the same for USD. Do you use Uniswap? We don't use Uniswap because that's illegal activity, okay? Nobody here uses Uniswap.
I've never used a dollar in my life, I would never use such a criminal, piece of money ever, Who needs Uniswap anyways, right?
Exactly.
I lost all my Bitcoin in a boating accident anyways, so.
I got hacked a couple times.
Yeah.
Yes, and tomorrow's Dev Wednesdays, we opened up the show talking about quantum. Tomorrow's Dev Wednesdays, if you want to figure out how to become a super staker, we will show you step by step from a development standpoint, but you don't have to be a developer in order to understand how to do that. I will probably be there as well learning, because why would I not? There's all different ways to make money. So. Hi, Eryka. Looking great as usual. We got to miss the hurricane action this weekend. Thanks.
Great.
Hurricane. For illegal activity, use fiat, bro.
Yes, that's the best method.
But they're trying to really get rid of cash right now, and they're using coronavirus as an excuse to do that.
Actually, funny enough, I was at Subway today, and they said they had a coin shortage, federal or nationwide coin shortage, which is BS. It just means that they're trying to they're trying to rule out or uncirculate coins, and of course do the same thing with cash.
The first sign of a currency crisis is that the smaller bills get phased out.
Oh, even in London, it's all cashless.
Yeah.
Here come the central bank digital currencies.
Yeah. Let's see, what is it going to be? Honestly, I really know what it's going to be, but I feel like if I say it on this channel, everyone's going to literally hate me. So I'm not even going to say it. But
we'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week. Tomorrow, join us for Dev Wednesdays. We will see you guys next week on our Trading Tuesdays. Thank you to everyone who's catching this live, and thank you to everyone who catches it later. We are definitely going to be improving upon the show as much as possible. If you do have requests for coins, DM Ty, DM me, and we will make sure to feature it on Tuesdays are for technical analysis.
Woo.
Yeah, like this video and share it and follow us if you don't already follow us. Thanks.
Peace.
Bye.